Book 4, Lesson 4. Active. Active. Adjective. Number 1. Taking part. Working. Luis has been an active member of the chess club for 2 years. Number 2. Lively. Quick. Busy. Even though she is over 90, Dr. O'Brien still has a very active mind. Number 3. Moving a lot. Moving quickly. Since I've been more physically active, I can run around the track more easily.
Now let's review word meaning. True or false? Tennis is an active sport. If you said true, you're correct. You have to move around a lot to play tennis.
Astound. Astound. Verb. To surprise, to amaze. The United States astounded the world in 1969 by landing people on the moon. Astounding. Astounding. Adjective. Very surprising. The report of flying saucers landing on the White House lawn would be astounding if it were true.
Now let's review word meaning. Choose A or B. Which of these is more astounding? A, a dog that can speak, or B, a child who learns to walk? If you said A, you're correct. It would be very surprising to hear a dog talk.
Attend. Attend. Verb. Number 1. To go to or be present at. If you are planning to attend the lunchroom committee meeting, please let Mr. Min know. Number 2. To pay attention to. The judge asked the jury to attend carefully to what she was going to say.
Now let's review word meaning. Yes or no? A student attending class should be marked absent. If you said no, you are right. A student who attends class should be marked present.
Cherish. Cherish. Verb. Number 1. To cling to an idea or feeling. Ramona cherished the hope that her father would return soon. Number 2. To take good care of. To love. I cherish the gold watch my grandfather gave me.
Now let's review word meaning. Choose A or B. You would treat someone you cherish, A, kindly, or B, poorly. If you said B, you're correct. If you love or cherish someone, you would want to treat them kindly.
Contract. Contract. Verb. Number 1. To make an agreement that has the force of law. We contracted with carpenters to repair the stairs. Number 2. To get, to come to have. When I contracted chicken pox, Dr. Roby told me I had to stay away from other people. Number 3. To make or become smaller. By 1828, Cherokee lands had contracted to 1/10 the size they had been 100 years earlier. Contract. Contract. Noun. An agreement that has the force of law. Tom has just signed a contract with a publisher for his first book on the copper miners.
Now let's review word meaning. Yes or no? You should see a doctor if you contract an illness. If you said yes, you are correct. A doctor can help treat or cure an illness if you come down with one.
Eager. Eager. Adjective. wanting very much. We were eager to take part in the science project. Eagerly. Eagerly. Adverb. With a great deal of enthusiasm, wanting. We eagerly awaited the arrival of our cousins, whom we hadn't seen in several months.
Now let's review word meaning. Choose A or B. A person eager for the show to start is probably A, getting impatient, or B, ready to leave. If you said A, you are right. An eager person is very excited for the show and wants it to start right away.
Expose. Expose. Verb. Number 1. To make known. In her weekly newspaper column, Molly Ivins exposed the plan to cut health benefits. Number 2. To open to view. Cleaning the painting exposed the original colors. Number 3. To leave unprotected. Since I had no place to keep my bike, I had to leave it outside, exposed to the weather.
Now let's review word meaning. True or false? An ice cream bar exposed to the sun will start to melt. If you said true, you're correct. An ice cream bar would melt if it was left unprotected in the sun.
Grace. Grace. Noun. Number 1. Beauty of form or movement. Margot Fontaine danced with such grace that she was hailed as one of the world's greatest ballerinas. Number 2. A short prayer said before a meal. They always say grace in her family. Number 3. An extra period to do or pay something. The painters had 3 days' grace to finish the house. Graceful. Graceful. Adjective. Having beauty of movement. With a graceful leap, the cat landed on my lap.
Now let's review word meaning. Yes or no? A clumsy person is likely to be called graceful. If you said no, you are correct. People who are clumsy do not move beautifully. They would not be called graceful.
Impose. Impose. Verb. Number 1. To force someone to accept or put up with. The new coach imposed strict rules about arriving late or leaving practice early. Number 2. To take unfair advantage of. I try not to impose on my mother's good nature.
Now let's review word meaning. Choose A or B. Fran imposed on Jerome by A, eating Jerome's food without asking, or B, giving Jerome helpful advice. If you said A, you're right. Fran took unfair advantage of Jerome by eating his food without asking.
Modest. Modest. Adjective. Number 1. Not thinking too highly of oneself. Nadia was too modest to accept all the credit for her part in producing the play. Number 2. Simple, not fancy or extreme. The Wallmans lived in the same modest apartment all their lives. Modesty. Modesty. Noun. The quality of being modest. My sense of modesty keeps me from taking too much credit for the project's success.
Now let's review word meaning. Choose A or B. Which is most likely to be found in a modest home? A, a ballroom, or B, a small fireplace? If you said B, you are correct. A modest home wouldn't have fancy things like a ballroom.
Parallel. Parallel. Adjective. Lying in the same direction and always the same distance apart. The two edges of a ruler are parallel.
Now let's review word meaning. True or false? Parallel lines will never cross each other. If you said true, you are correct. Parallel lines are always the same distance apart. They will never cross.
Paralyze. Paralyze. Verb. Number 1. To stop all movement or feeling in. As the huge wave approached, fear paralyzed people walking at the water's edge, and they stood there motionless. Number 2. To make helpless or powerless. The snowstorm paralyzed Washington, D.C. for 5 days. Paralysis. Paralysis. Noun. Condition of being paralyzed. President Franklin D. Roosevelt used a wheelchair because of the paralysis of his legs.
Now let's review word meaning. Choose A or B. If you became paralyzed, you would be unable to A. Move, or B. See. If you said A, you are correct. Paralysis would stop you from moving, not seeing.
Pessimist. Pessimist. Noun. A person who expects things to turn out badly. A pessimist carries an umbrella even though the forecast is for fine weather. Pessimistic. Pessimistic. Adjective. Not having hope, joy, or confidence. Gloomy. After losing her librarian's job, Miss Merkelson was pessimistic about finding another library position in the same town.
Now let's review word meaning. Yes or no. A pessimist is likely to be in a bad mood. If you said yes, you are right. Pessimists expect things to turn out badly. They would probably be in a bad mood.
Recite. Recite. Verb. To say aloud before an audience, usually from memory. Rosie recited her favorite Emily Dickinson poem to the class. Recital. Recital. Noun. A program of music or dance. I felt very nervous before my ballet recital.
Now let's review word meaning. True or false? When you recite a poem, you think it over in your head. If you said false, you are correct. When you recite something, you say it aloud to an audience, not keep it to yourself.
Respond. Respond. Verb. To answer. When you want to respond to a question, please raise your hand. Response. Response. Noun. Something said or done in reply. Henry took a few moments to think before giving his response to Mr. Bartlett's question.
Now let's review word meaning. True or false? If someone asks you a question, the answer you give is your response. If you said true, you're correct. When you answer a question, you give a response.
Next, let's move to today's story. One step at a time. Courage. That's all Sucheng Chan had to fight her battles, but it was enough. Her troubles began when she was young. She was an active child who liked nothing better than to run outside and play with the other children in the village in China where she was born. But at the age of 4, she contracted polio, a childhood disease that was once common but is now rare. Polio causes paralysis, and the muscles in Sucheng Chan's legs slowly wasted away until she could no longer run or even walk. The doctors were pessimistic about her chances of living more than a year or two, but they did not know her. With courage came determination, and Sucheng was determined to walk again. For 3 years, Sucheng Chan lay helplessly in bed. But one day she surprised her mother. Sucheng Chan asked her mother to set up some chairs in 2 parallel lines, their backs facing each other. She then forced herself out of bed, and with great difficulty she made her way between the chairs, using their backs as support. She did this repeatedly to develop her limbs. Her body ached from her many falls. At that time, China was at war with Japan. Sucheng Chan's father was serving in the army, unable to see his family. He cherished his daughter, though. It saddened him that he could not give her the comfort and support she needed. When the war ended, he finally returned home. Imagine how astounded he was to see Sucheng Chan walk up to him and welcome him. Her movements were not at all graceful, but to her father, there had never been such a beautiful sight. Sucheng Chan had always been an intelligent child. She was eager to go to school. But in those days in China, education was not freely available, and her parents had only a modest income. Sucheng Chan was 8 years old before they saved enough money for her to attend the American school in Shanghai. There she learned to speak English. She also began a lifelong study of Asian history and culture. In 1948, at the end of Sucheng Chan's first year in school, China's government became communist. The new government imposed strict rules forbidding contact with foreigners. One result was that the American school was closed. Sucheng Chan and her parents grew increasingly unhappy. They decided to leave China and settle in Malaysia. Sucheng Chan spent her teenage years at a Malaysian high school. This was the happiest time of her life. She did very well in school and took piano lessons. Sometimes she gave recitals for visitors. Once, when she walked across the stage, her legs gave way and she collapsed. She heard a voice say, "Ayah! Someone like you should not expose herself like that." Sucheng Chan's response was to struggle to her feet, walk to the piano, and sit down. She played so beautifully that the audience was moved to tears. After graduating with honors from high school, Sucheng was awarded scholarships to the University of Hawaii. She later became a professor of history and director of Asian American Studies at the University of California, Santa Barbara. She tackled life vigorously and with enjoyment. Doctors told her that she might need a wheelchair by the time she approached 40. Polio's lasting effects can cause more damage to muscles. The doctors were right. But Sucheng Chan did not mind the wheelchair. "I use it only when I am not in a hurry," she said. The end.